Greetings, Karen Clay here. Thanks for watching. We're going to do a shoulder series in the next several weeks. So, what the Feldenkrais method attempts to impart is the difference between differentiation and coordination. Those are just words that mean, are parts free of each other, and do parts get in each other's way? Do parts work together cooperatively, or do parts have conflict with each other? Now, those could be body parts, those could be parts of ourselves. So you feel sometimes a sense of cross motivation, either in how you move or something that you do. Most of us experience that. So we're going to move on into the lesson in a minute. I want to show you some pictures so that you understand the shoulder girdle a little bit better. The shoulder girdle could not be the shoulder girdle without the rib cage. So you're looking at the body from the front. Here's the breastbone. Here's the ribs. Here's the collarbone attaching to the breastbone. Here's the humerus bone. That's the shoulder joint itself. This is your upper arm bone. And there's the shoulder blade from behind. And here's another view. This one is from the side, so you see the spine in the back, the ribs in the front. You can't see the breastbone here, but you can see the shoulder joint really well, made by part of the shoulder blade. And what you can't see is the collarbone that comes in to meet the shoulder blade. Pretty interesting. And here's another view that'll blow your mind. This is from above with your head cut off. Front of the body, breastbone. Back of the body, spine. Collarbone. Shoulder blade. Shoulder joint. So the shoulder girdle is a yoke that rests on top of that ribs. So what that means is the rib cage and the spine really need to cooperate with and support the shoulder girdle. To the degree that they don't is the degree that we have discomfort. Let's take it into action and look at a swimmer. So yes, she's got incredibly strong shoulders, but she also has incredibly flexible shoulders. Part of that is how she's using her rib cage and her neck and head to help her to extend her arms behind her with that extreme rotation in her shoulder joints. She wouldn't be able to do that. This is a different part of the stroke, but it's the same idea. She would not be able to do that if she didn't have cooperation, coordination between the rest of her body. So in this more flexed position here, she's in an open position here, she's in a closed position. She's got her spine rounded, her neck rounded, and her shoulders rounded to facilitate that part of the stroke. Let's take another application. So here in the wind up for the pitch, he's open in the front and closed in the back as he takes his arm behind him with a big open shoulder joint that will help him gather some momentum for his throw. When he delivers the throw, you can see that he's in the opposite position. He's closed in the front and open in the back because he's delivered all that force through his shoulder joint, accommodating in his rib cage and spine. That's what this lesson will hopefully help you to discover, maybe for the first time. As you can see, I've got some props over here. We need to talk about that, and then you'll pause the video so you can get set up. So my rule is no discomfort, and it's pretty much the rule in any Feldenkrais lesson that you take. The things that are going to be required that I'm going to ask strongly that you use are 2 fluffy hand towels for under your shoulders, because we're going to be lying down doing things with our shoulders, with our arms at shoulder height. And if I do not have this here, you can see it opens my shoulder joint, makes my humerus go back to the floor. And this is the most vulnerable part of the joint already. So I want to keep the level of my arm and the level of my shoulder about equal. So I've got the towel pretty close to my shoulder joint. It's not under my shoulder blades though, okay? And then what you're going to need to test before you begin, you're going to stand your arms up, drop your palms to the floor. If that's really uncomfortable, it makes you want to open your arms, then you'll put a pillow in a place that supports your arm. The other part is that we're going to open back this way, which I don't have any problem with, but if you did, it'll make you want to bend your elbow a lot and not stay in an open position. And so you'd have pillows there. So you may have 4 pillows, 2 down, 2 up, and the 2 towels. Okay, see you later. So now that we're back, we're going to get everything out of the way just for a moment and keep it within hand's reach. And lengthen the legs on the floor. Just take a moment to settle, to feel the ground supporting you, to sense your weight, to sense your breath. And please notice the weight of your pelvis against the floor. Feel free to keep adjusting to be more comfortable, not to be more perfect, but to be easier with the floor. Now sense the curve of your lower back. Can you feel how that spine arches away from the floor and then slowly descends into the floor again? Where is the place where the curve resumes contact? See if you can locate that or hallucinate that. It's okay to imagine where that is. How long is that curve? How deep is that curve? Is that curve symmetrical or more like an ellipse? Then move up and sense the contact of your ribs. Is it wide? Is it narrow? Is it bony? Is it soft? Is it muscular? Move up to your upper body. Your upper spine, your upper ribs, excuse me, are separated by your shoulder blades from the floor, but you may be able to feel your vertebra between your shoulder blades. And let's dial in the shoulder blades now. So sense each shoulder blade, sense which one is heavier. And just focus on the heavier one and find the heaviest point of contact between the heaviest blade and the floor. Where can you locate? And again, if you can't quite, it's not clearly focused, just do your best and make a guess. You don't have to be right. And please don't push into the floor with your shoulder blades. Just let them be where they are. Now, how close is that shoulder blade to your spine? How flat is that shoulder blade relative to the floor? Is it like a pair of shoes? Or is it adhered to the slope of the rib cage such that it's on an angle? Now move to the other shoulder. Sense it as a whole. Sense the heaviest point of contact, the space between the blade and the spine, and whether the blade is flat to the floor or at an angle. Please bend and stand your legs so your feet are standing on the floor. Your knees are bent. Your feet are about hip width apart. Find a comfortable place for your feet. Wider, closer, further away from you, closer to you. And take a look as you open your arms, palms up, bringing your towels in close proximity to your shoulder, but not under your shoulder blades. And just check that out for a moment. And please bend and stand your elbows. So you bend your elbows at right angles as if you were standing up 2 candelabra. Standing in vertical. Now check right and left. Are your arms too open? Are your arms too closed? Or are they in the good right spot of 90 degrees? Now please open your palms to the ceiling as you drop the backs of your hands towards the floor. See if you need to grab pillows, and if you do, grab them. stand your arms back up. If you have restriction, probably what you're going to want to do is bend your elbows close to you as you bring your hands back. So in order to keep some precision in this lesson that's really important, we're going to imagine that we're holding onto a dowel that's just the length it needs to be to keep our elbow joints at 90 degrees. So that means 90 degrees at the shoulder here and 90 degrees at the elbow bend. So now take the dowel back and see how far you go, and then come back up again. Soften your ribs, soften your neck, and repeat this as many times as you're comfortable with the dowel, keeping your hands apart. I'd recommend that you do this 5 or 6 times and then take a rest. You may want to pause your phone so you can do it as many times as you want, and then you'll take a rest with your palms up. And let's try something else. Would you please roll your arms on the floor like a log, like you're rolling a log in the direction of your head, so your palms face the wall above your head. So maybe your elbows will have to come off the floor. I don't know. And then let them come back to the beginning. And then roll them up again using your whole arm, not just your elbow. See how I'm just doing it in my wrist? But the whole arm rolls. So the elbows point to the ceiling, the palms point to the wall above your head. What happens to your shoulder blades? Are they moving? Probably are. Are they moving together like a pair of sliding closet doors? So once you've heightened those sensations for yourself and you've done enough, you can pause if you want to do more. Stand your candelabra up again and open to the ceiling again. You may notice that, wow, I've got more flexibility now because I'm moving my shoulder blades. There's cooperation between my parts in such a way that this is really easy. So great, let's go on now. Now would you please lower your palms to the floor in the direction of your pelvis. If you need pillows, grab them. Keep them close or far away depending on what's most comfortable for you. Standing the candelabra up, lowering the candelabra down, palm down. Notice for yourself what your shoulder blades are doing now. Do you feel how they're separating, like the closet doors are now opening, sliding apart, and that the fronts of the shoulders may be moving towards the ceiling? I'm going to do it on one side. You can see what I mean. So let's see if we can enhance that movement. Open your arms, palms up again. Now would you please roll your palms down so that they face the floor? Again, it's not a wrist gesture. See, this is a wrist gesture. It's a whole arm gesture, rolling a log. Feel the shoulders, feel the shoulder blades. Feel the widening in the back and the closing in the front. Remember we talked about that with the pitcher and the swimmer. Good, so do that as many times as you want. You may want to pause your phone. And then stand your elbows back up again. Hang on to the dowel again after you check your alignment. And then take the dowel down. Maybe you can try it now without your supports, or maybe not. But I bet you've gotten further now than you did before. Yeah? So that's where we're going to stop today because this video is already too long. So get rid of everything, including the towels. Just let your legs and arms down. And just with that brief little bit of the lesson, just notice what you notice. You probably notice a whole lot more about your shoulder blades. They may be in a different position. They may be flatter. They may be closer. There may be more ease across your shoulder, more freedom. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to get the next video. Hit the bell icon, which is the notification. Thanks so much.